Hi, everyone. Welcome to our fourth Energy Chat. I'm Valerie Dudley with Cornell Cooperative Extension of Delaware County, and today we are pleased to be hosting Joe Maggiore from Delaware Opportunities. He is the director of the Weatherization Assistance Program. Joe is going to talk about getting a home energy audit and how to receive free energy upgrades through the Weatherization Assistance Program. Hi, Joe. Tell us about yourself. Hi. Tell us about yourself and how you got into this line of work.
Well, I've been with the Weatherization program going on 18 years now. I was a carpenter by trade, and basically I was just, looking for a better job, to be honest. And I got involved with the Weatherization program as a carpenter and slowly worked my way up to director. That's about my story. Since I've been with the Weatherization program, I absolutely love the work that we do and the jobs that we do, and I've learned a lot about energy conservation, more than I thought as a carpenter.
That's great. What are the things you have learned through your work about weatherization and energy efficiency?
Like I said, I've learned a lot. As far as how important insulation can be, how important it is to seal a home up. I've learned that windows are not as big an issue as it's led to believe. I've learned that I just love my job. I love to help people that are in need and a way to show them how to save money, rather than seeing it go out the window.
Yeah. If people want to take action, what's the first step?
Well, the first step as far as the Weatherization program would be to either contact us, go online, fill out an application. It is an income-based program, like a lot of the other programs, for the Weatherization program. But there's also the Empower program, which is income-based, but they have other programs for people that exceed the income guidelines. So that would be my first step. Take advantage of all these programs out there that can help people save energy in ways that they probably don't realize.
Yeah, it's a learning process, that's for sure.
Yes, it is.
So what are the top things people can do right now to save energy?
Right now, at low cost to save energy, I would say, one, if you have not switched over to CFLs or LEDs, that's one of my personal favorites. I mean, just to change out to LEDs or CFLs, you save quite a bit of money on that. Turning down your heat if you're not home, and at night as low as you can, possibly turn it down and still be comfortable. We don't expect people to freeze at night. And then the next step would be to take a look at the insulation in your attic. The walls are a little difficult, obviously, but if people could just look in their attic, if they only have 19 inches of insulation in their attic, you just starting there, which is fairly inexpensive, but it saves you a ton of money, a ton.
So can you tell us about the eligibility requirements for weatherization and how much money is available to people?
Well, we're funded by the Department of Energy, which then hands it down to the state, which then hands it down to us, subgrantees. There's a subgrantee in every county in New York State. Right now, the family of four is $57,564. And then it varies from there. You could go on our website, the DelawareOpportunities.org, or you could go on HCR website, or I'm sure they could contact you to find out if they're income eligible.
And how much how much money in terms of energy upgrades? So this is all free. They don't have to, for the weatherization assistance, they like,
Right.
how much money or what kind of things would you guys do?
Well, like I said, we're funded every year. We happen to be a dual county agency. We serve Delaware and Sullivan County with the weatherization program. Our funding varies year to year. This year, we will be receiving $775,000, which is about our average, and 60% of that goes into weatherizing homes. So we do work all year round. Some people are under the idea that we only work in the winter. We do not. We work all year round.
But so people in their homes, like how much money worth of free upgrades might they receive if they are eligible?
Well, according to our state contract, we're allowed to spend up to $7,000 per unit. But we don't really stick to that 7,000. Like, we don't have a cap, because we'll get into some homes that might require, like an old farmhouse that doesn't have any insulation in the walls in the attic. We might put up to $10,000, $12,000 into that unit. Some smaller homes don't require that much, but we don't stop at any particular measure.
Okay, you do an assessment of what they need. So yeah, that's how you start. You come in and you do an energy assessment, right?
Yep, we do what they call an energy audit. And then what we do is we plug it into software provided by the state. And that we go by the energy usage of the home. That turns out an SIR, a savings to investment ratio. We have to meet at least a 1.0 for that measure to be allowable expense through the weatherization program, which we do quite well at.
Yeah, because
right now,
they're effective.
Right. And right now we're averaging anywhere between 35 to 40% savings per unit. So that's a substantial amount.
Yeah, so their heating bills are going to go down, and even their electric bills because of the light bulbs. And
right.
what other kind of things? Yeah.
Mainly we focus on air sealing, which would be to air seal the attic and the basement. Obviously, you don't want the cold air from the basement coming into the living area, and you don't want to lose the heat through the attic. We also do minor health and safety issues. We do exhaust fans quite a bit to take the moisture and pollutants out of the home. Because when we air seal, we tighten up the home. So we don't want to make it too tight, but yet we want to still conserve energy. We do a lot of people are under the assumption that the weatherization program does windows. We do windows in some cases, but it takes a lot to get a window to SIR out, believe it or not. That's what I've learned most through the weatherization program, that a window really doesn't save you all that much. You can, instead of replacing windows in your home, you should worry about insulating your attic to the fullest extent. You'll save more that way than you will changing the windows in your home.
That's great to know. Yeah, I didn't know that. And so what other kind of improvements have you done in people's homes?
We will look at the heating system to see if we can improve it in any way. If it's a forced hot air system, we'll seal the ductwork so that we get most of the heat to the living area. We'll look at hot water heaters, refrigerators. Those three are probably the big energy usage. We'll do cleaning tunes. In some cases, depending on the heating system, we can replace it. If it has a cracked heat exchanger or if it's just not worth repairing or fixing. Hot water heaters if they're leaking. In some cases, we change it out. If it's a smaller home with maybe one or two people and they have an oil-fired hot water heater, we might recommend putting in an electric one, because the oil for two people, it's going to constantly keep running, rather than an electric one that won't run as much. In some cases, we can justify switching out oil for gas, because gas units, you can get up to 95% efficiency. Oil units right out of the box, you're lucky if you get 86. Especially if they have natural gas, if they have access to natural gas. There's some incentives through NYSEG to switch out to natural gas and get rid of the oil. Like I said, because just for the efficiency rating alone, it's worth the change.
I've heard about appliances sometimes, like refrigerators.
Right.
Just sometimes.
Refrigerators are the biggest. It's pretty hard to get an SIR on a refrigerator, believe it or not. I mean, if they're 85, 1985 or less, then we could get it. Anything above the make year of 1985 is pretty hard to change it out. We don't do stoves, microwaves, stuff like that, because that's not something that's running constantly.
I see. So what will happen if somebody contacts you, they fill out an application? What's the audit process? Like, someone comes into the home, and how do they evaluate the home?
Right. What we would do is send out our auditor. What they'll do is a series of tests. They'll do a blower door test. I know some people have probably seen it, the big red blanket with the fan, and usually the front door. That reads cubic feet per minute. We get a number from there, and that pretty much determines where we need to go as far as energy savings. So if a house starts off at like 5,000 CFMs, usually we're averaging a 50% reduction in just airflow. If we reduce that number dramatically, that's where the energy savings comes from, because now there's less air traveling through the home. We do an efficiency test on the furnace to see where that stands. Anything less than 76% efficient, we can do a lot more work to, based on if we can get that efficiency rating up higher. We'll test the oven for, any kind of leaks, gas leaks, carbon monoxide. We install carbon monoxide detectors, smoke detectors. That falls under health and safety. That's pretty much it. And then, it's pretty much measuring out the house, determining what the insulation values are in the wall, in the attic, in the basement, and then we'll go from there. And that pretty much gives us a map of what we can and cannot do from there.
What's some of the most amazing turnarounds you've seen?
I actually last year did a presentation for the HEAP throughout the state, and I brought a story in of an elderly woman that we did work to. Her and her husband lived in an old farmhouse, and she had zero insulation in the walls, zero in the attic, and she was using approximately 2,000 gallons of oil a year.
Wow.
She was barely staying warm in the wintertime. We went in, we insulated the attic, the walls, and we changed out her heating system for natural gas. She was spending, I believe it was close to $3,500 a year just to heat the home. And we got her down to about $1,200 a year.
Wow. That's
so that was
amazing.
That's a pretty big home run. But there's so many success stories. And like I said, I've been doing it for so long that it's hard for me to remember all of them.
Yeah, sure.
But most people are very happy once we're done.
Yeah.
And they can see the dramatic change in their utility bills. Like you said, not just their fuel, their heating, but electric as well.
Yeah, and also, yeah, some people use electric heat. I have electric based
Right.
parts in addition to my wood stove.
Right.
Well, I want to let people know that if you're not eligible for the Weatherization Assistance Program, you can still get a free energy audit from NYSERDA provides them to every New Yorker in the state, and I can give you information about that if you contact me. My contact information and Joe's contact information is in the comment section. And actually, I'm going to put up a quick slide so you can see.
If I could just add, when you apply with us for the weatherization program, and we determine that you're eligible for the weatherization program, we automatically refer you to the Empower program.
Okay.
Because at that point, now we can do even more because we have one funding source, another funding source, so we could get the most bang for the buck.
Wow.
So if someone is eligible and applies with us, we're automatically going to apply you to the Empower program.
Which is basically the same program, but more money.
Correct.
More money available in addition to on top of the weatherization. Also, if you, can you confirm for me that if you get HEAP, at least you're income eligible, I believe, for both of the programs? This is
correct. If you receive HEAP, yes, we call it categorically eligible.
Right. Okay. And but you can only get weatherization once in 25 years. I know.
Well, it's actually more. The date is set by the federal government, Department of Energy. If you were weatherized prior to September 30th of 1994, after we really can't come back. I mean, in some rare cases, I can get permission from HCR to re-weatherize the house. I hate that date.
Yeah.
The methods that we did in 1994 as compared to what we do now are totally different. We have made many pleas to change that date. There's always rumors every year that date might change. Hopefully this year I hear that it might go back to a 10-year period rather than 1994, which would be
wow.
Fingers
crossed.
Right. If there's natural disasters and stuff like that, like during the floods that we had in Delaware County, we can go back and re-weatherize certain homes. There's a lot of scenarios. The best thing to do would be to contact us. Let us determine whether you've been weatherized or whether you're not eligible because you thought you got weatherized. There's also the fact that some people sell their home and another person will buy the home. According to the state, we are weatherizing the home, not the people that own the home.
Mm-hmm.
So if the house was weatherized prior to you buying it, there's a good possibility we're not going to be able to come back in and weatherize it again.
Okay. Sometimes, I know you guys can't do it, but sometimes if you've had weatherization, you can still get Empower, but it would be through a different contractor. So again, people could contact me and I could connect you with an Empower, a different contractor possibly. It depends, but it's always good to call and see what is available. So yeah, thank you, Joe, for sharing such great information about Weatherization Assistance Program. If you're interested in applying for this great program, you can contact Delaware Opportunities. Contact information is here and in the comments, 607-746-1690. You can also contact me at Cornell Cooperative Extension. My number is 607-865-6531. And I just want to let people know that NYSERDA has incentives and credits available for solar options and heating systems such as wood stoves, wood pellet stoves, and heat pumps. So you can contact me about that as well. So thanks again, Joe. Thanks for everyone for joining us today, and have a great
Thank you for having me.
afternoon. Bye-bye.
Thank you.